Tekken 7 Season 3 has been a bit of an embarrassing dumpster fire. I think we will all remember it as the moment the Tekken 7 wave broke and started rolling back, and we were left standing, staring in shock on the beach. And then fucking Rum walks out of the water and goes and kicks everybody in the dick. And then he grabs them with an unbreakable throw, throws them on the wall, kicks them in the dick again. 3 times. And now the round's over, and he doesn't get patched for months, so you just lie there, remembering Evo Japan 2019. Season 3 is about to die and go away forever, and I'm sure most of us can't wait for that to happen, but before it does, I decided to use it for my own ends. You see, I learned something this week. I've been watching a lot of YouTube, and it seems the name of the game in fighting game content creation when not much new is going on is retrospection. You're supposed to look back at different iterations of great fighting games in the past, but personally I'm much less interested in the history of Tekken than I am concerned for its future. So I thought, what about doing a retrospection on right now? Before Season 3 goes away forever, I want to go back and look at what exactly happened in it. Is it as bad as we think? Maybe it's even worse. And what can we learn from it for the future? Let's find out. Number 1. New moves. Old problems. So here's a question. You have a character that has been bad since the game launched, the main problem being a lack of safety. And it's time to design a new move for him. So what do? Well, how about a painfully slow, launch punishable low that doesn't even give a combo on normal hit, pretty much as far as you could get from what the character needed, officially making Miguel the sad clown of Tekken balancing, I guess along with Gigas. I love it when moves change. I love patch notes. I don't know about you, but my favorite part of a new season is not trying a new character, but discovering all these changes to existing ones. There is something so satisfying about selecting a character that you've used maybe hundreds and hundreds of times before and then seeing them do something completely new on the screen. It's also true that implementation of new moves and changing of existing ones is the major opportunity for the developers to introduce balance where it is needed by improving the weak or weakening the strong. When you look at the new moves that came into the game with Tekken 7 Season 3, the vast majority seem to fall into this broad category of combo utility. And the first example I want to show is a bunch of characters got new combo enders. Specifically, they got combo enders designed for very high, very easy to use wall conversions. And that's always nice to have. And I think that was the reaction from the community. Oh, that's nice to have. I wouldn't mind having that, but they weren't super excited because it was given to a bunch of characters that didn't exactly need it, who maybe needed help in some other area. I think Anna is a good example of that. Another example is a bunch of characters got new spin moves. They were all very simple spin moves, 2-hit strings, easy to use, and it made combos a little bit easier to construct, a little bit easier to think about. For some characters like Gigas, it made a huge difference for the combo game. For others, it was barely noticeable. There were some new moves designed to be used in neutral and outside of combos, but they were sort of dropped randomly throughout the roster and didn't seem to have much rhyme or reason. I mentioned the back down forward 4 for Miguel earlier. I think the players who were most excited were the ones who ended up with a new combo string that had some sort of serious utility in another area. For example, Elisa with the whiff punishing power of her back 4-4. It's also interesting that the character that has struggled the most since launch with constructing good, easy to do, powerful combos and to convert to the wall managed to dodge the entire blizzard of combo utility, but ended up with a new wall combo that was less powerful than what was already available. Like I said, not much rhyme or reason, but there was one clear direction with the balancing changes in Season 3. Combos were going to be longer, easier to do, and reach the wall more often, and as we came to see later, that might not have been the right choice for the game. Number 2. Frames within frames. Do you guys not have $4? Oh, you want free frame data? You think you do. You actually don't. Tekken 7 Season 3 came out late in the game's lifespan, and it came out for a game that was already littered with all kinds of systems, so it didn't really bother to bring much in terms of mechanical innovation. Instead, it expanded on the idea from Season 2 called Wall Bounce, implemented a lot of new moves. Many characters have multiples now, and that leads to even more opportunities for powerful combos using the wall, by the way. But if we're talking about new features, most of them came in the shape of practice mode utility, which is really interesting. The frame data app came out and it gave us on-screen frame data in Tekken, something that players had been praying for generations of Tekken. But Namco managed to turn it into a controversy by making it paid DLC, and it led to the hilarious incident known as $4 Gate, one of many embarrassing PR disasters for the Tekken team during Season 3. The feature itself is, in my opinion, extremely well done and well implemented. It's easy to use, you just turn it on and it's right there on the screen. I'm also not gonna lie, as a content creator, it's absolutely amazing to have this tool, because a new character comes out, you go into the game and you know everything about the character. That experience can teach you at least right away. You don't have to wait weeks and weeks for third-party frame data, and it makes a big difference. The other major feature that came out for practice mode was punishment training, and this one is really interesting. I almost haven't used it at all, but I do find it very interesting, because what it essentially is a simulation. It simulates situations in the game. You choose your character and the opponent character, and the game will tell you with on-screen prompts how, where, and what to punish. And it's really interesting, not really something we've seen in the game before, and I think it's important because it could, you know, the idea of a simulation with on-screen prompts evolve into something that we've been needing in Tekken for a very long time, namely really good tutorials. So coupled with the frame data app, these two new features, they kind of lay bare the two big mysteries that you encounter as a new fighting game player: punishment and frame data. And Namco have chosen in the past to not show underneath its skirt, but now apparently they're happy with letting us see the inner workings, the skeleton of this game. And I think the fact that we have this now means that we're going to have it in all future iterations. We just have to hope that they don't make the bad choice of charging money for it again. So if the overall direction of the balancing changes seem to go towards combos, the overall direction of the new feature seems to be that the game should be easier to learn for new players, for a price. Number 3, characters. I still remember the first time I saw the Tekken 7 design of Zafina. I was sleeping when the live stream happened, and all my friends knew that I really wanted this character in the game. I got a message from one of them and it woke me up, and it said, "Watch the stream, it's happening." So I opened up the lid of my laptop, which was next to my bed because I'm terrible, and I timed it magically so that the first thing I saw when I turned on the live stream was the full body design of Zafina in Tekken 7, and I couldn't have been happier. I think it looked so awesome. She was the last of the Tekken 6 legacy characters in the game, and honestly, even though many people asked for her to be in the game, not that many played her in the past. She has a lot of flavor in her animations, but apparently she still felt uninteresting to a lot of people, and the team knew that they had to do something with her. And I think what they did is completely genius. They gave her the arm of Azazel, the evil demon boss that she was guarding in the previous games, and that gave her a couple new mechanics, a couple new animations, and a new look. And I think it contrasts really well because with her normal moves, she's very playful. It's very light, but when she uses the hand, she stops. It's slow. It looks painful. It gives an interesting dynamic to the character. And then she came out and she had that new just frame to the Cursed Crow for her combo ender. Another piece of really good design in my opinion because it's extremely powerful, but it's also really well balanced. But that wasn't the issue with Zafina. As more people used her, what we discovered was that she has the best movement of any character in the game, at least the best backdash. There are a couple of characters that can keep up with her in terms of sidestepping like Lily, but for backdashing she is the queen, and it gives her some interesting matchups. She can slink out of situations that others can't, and she was clearly going to be a powerful character in Tekken 7 Season 3. We didn't know, however, that that category, strong Tekken 7 Season 3 characters, was going to be quite populated. Oh Leroy, this character is definitely already important Tekken history for better or for worse. People were so excited when he was announced, and they probably knew that they had to make him very good to not disappoint everybody, but the level that they took it to, that story has been told so many times on YouTube and on channels much more popular than mine, so I won't go through all of it again, but I talked about the wave breaking in my intro, and this is the point. This is the part of the straw that broke the camel's back. And the turning point for me personally, at least on an emotional level, was when I saw those patch notes with a date on them that indicated that nerfs were prepared for this character before he was released. And it became obvious that the developers had intended to release him strong and nerf him later. So whatever was happening in the game because of him was happening by design. The game became unplayable for weeks, and it all culminated in EVO Japan 2019, which was easily the biggest and most embarrassing of the PR catastrophes we've had with Season 3. It was so bad that it had the Tekken community rooting for a Julia, and that's not exactly a character that people love these days. It's kind of like seeing people root for an Eddie. It just doesn't happen. I think in the end, Leroy was the moment we all had to grow up a little bit and look at this game with eyes less naive. It's a product, and we are consumers. It's just such a shame that it had to happen to a character with so much potential and who was being welcomed into the world with so much love. Gonryu came next, and because he's fat, stupid, and a sex pervert, nobody gave much of a shit. I think the reason people don't talk more about how incredibly strong this character is because so few choose to explore him. He has fast low pokes with advantage on hit, a backswing blow that gives a combo on the opponent's back, and amazing wall game. He also continued the Season 3 trend of fantastic visual design, at least compared to other versions of Gonryu. In Tekken Tag 2, he was a brown circle in a purple diaper. By the lightning, kids. With Fuckum Ram, I felt like success in Tekken had officially gone up for sale. He seemed like the inevitable conclusion on a joyride to hell. I guess a joyride called Season 3. We had officially hit the frozen core of the 9th circle, a character that can stand around and press his favorite colored buttons in random sequence and have perfect offense flow organically from him. Why even look at the screen? An interesting quirk that Fuckum Ram launched with was a wall-splatting throw that was more difficult to break than other throws, and it led to nightmares at the wall, but then again, Fucking Rom had probably killed you by the time he carried you there. If Leroy was a knife in the back, this character twists it, pulls it out, and puts it in your eye. Fucking Rom had another historic reveal. He's a Thai character, and he was revealed on the main stage in Bangkok. It was so unexpected and so awesome that Tasty Steve used his rage art on Rip. Me and my friends talked on Wave Dash about the character being fairly balanced. Main Man even talked about making Fucking Rom his main man, but as the days passed and the issues of the extreme range and the broken hurt box became more and more apparent, and before long we knew we had a new king of jank. Number 4. Legacy. Tekken 7 Season 3 will be remembered as the Great Stumble, the time when one of the greatest fighting games of all time started to go downhill. We had developers working seemingly against the community, we had bad communication, we had some of the worst balance we've ever had. It really does leave the stage open for Season 4 to come in on a white horse and be the point where everything turns around and gets back on track. But I have to say, looking back at Season 3 today, joking aside, most of its problems seem to stem from the same source, and this might sound cynical, but I think it all goes back to greed. The reason people were upset about the frame data feature was the fact that it cost money. The reason they didn't like the new characters was the fact that they were too good, and it seems reasonable to assume, based on what we know, that they were too good because good characters sell better. But remove that from the equation and have another look. The frame data feature is fantastic. It works. We wanted it for years and it's here now. In terms of characters, we have two completely unique and original characters in Leroy and Fucking Rom. Leroy is already considered to be one of the best visual designs of any Tekken character ever. And we have Zafina, who is, in my opinion, the best redesign of a legacy character that we've ever seen. If Tekken 7 Season 3's biggest sin would have been to let combo damage get a bit too high and wall carry a bit too far, I think we would still remember it as the next chapter in Tekken's golden age. Instead, we're going to remember it as the season that removed our rose-tinted goggles and ruined Evo. An elegant solution to the damage issue is being presented in Season 4. They are going to increase the size of the life bars, and I really do think that might help. The stated main goal for Season 4 is balance. And if that is true this time around, then I think the future is really bright. I look forward to experiencing it together. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys again very soon.